Okay, so first of all, welcome to all of you. Today we're gonna start talking about simple present perfect, and also the difference between simple past and present perfect, right? So I'm gonna show you some slides that I create to explain you about the difference of present perfect and also simple past. How does it work, and which is the difference between them? Over here, so first of all, it's important to point out that present perfect works to talk about an event or a situation that took place in the past and it's part of our experience. As example, over here, they have been to China. What does it mean? That I did that activity on the past, but nowadays that activity continues being present in my nowadays, right? Also, the present perfect is used to express something that finished just at the time that we are speaking. As example, 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, right? Something that recently happened. As example, I have just read the latest book from Harry Potter. That means that I did that activity recently in the past. And also, you have to use present perfect just at the moment while the speaking is speaking and to talk about something that has already finished but it's important nowadays. Over here we can see that present perfect talks about experience that happened on the past but nowadays it appears, it continues being part of my daily life or my present, right? Which is the structure that we need to follow in present perfect tense. First of all, it's important to understand that we are going to use the auxiliary have or has according to your subject. For I, you, we, and they, we use have, and for he, she, and it, we use has. And then we have to use the past participle of our verbs. Okay? The only thing that we need to use is to use the auxiliary have or has according to our subject and then the past participle of our verbs. And then we have over here the complement. We have over here a table that has the present form of the verb, the simple past, and then the present perfect. That means that I need to use have or has according to the subject and then the past participle. If you use just the past participle, your sentence won't have sense. You need to use the auxiliary, right? For irregular verbs, we need to memorize to remember the structure, but with regular verbs, the only thing that you need to do is just to add et, right? That's the only thing that we need to do. Over here, we can see some examples. That's the same stuff. Over here, they are just irregular verbs. We have taken, took. And then over here, we have the past participle. And obviously, we are talking about present perfect. We need to use the auxiliary have or has according to your subject plus the past participle of our verbs. That's in the form of affirmative. In the case of negative, over here we can see the structure. The only thing that we need to do is just to add the word not. As example, haven't or hasn't, because it's going to depend according to your subject, the kind of auxiliary that you will use, right? But over here, the only thing that we need to do is just to write not. And then the past participle and the complement of your sentence. Over here we have an example. I have tried sushi. In the case of affirmative, she has written an essay. In the case of affirmative. In the case of negative, I have not tried sushi or she has not written an essay. In the case of question form, we need to switch the elements, right? We need to switch have or has at the beginning of my question, then the subject, and then the past participle and the complement of your sentence if you have complement. This kind of question are called yes/no questions because the only information that you will have it's going to be just yes or no. But remember that if you attach a WH word before have or has, you will have a complete answer in the present perfect tense. Over here we have another example. of how can we use present perfect as example to express things that you have done in your life as an experience, to express number of times you have done that activity, to describe a recently complete action, to express a situation, as we said, that started on the past but is still true, and also to describe unfinished action or situation and something that is present nowadays. When we use present perfect, we can find some problem that is to identify the difference of using been and gone. Over here we have two examples and we are going to notice the difference. The first one, it says Jim is on holiday, he has gone to Italy. And the other one, it says Jane is back home now, she has been to Italy. We can realize that when we use been means that we have already returned. But when we use gone, that means that we went there and we are still there, right? Over here we can see another example between been and go. We can see that been means that you have returned, while gone means that you are still there. It says over here, Mike has gone to Italy, and Joanne just gone to the shop. She will be back in about 10 minutes. That means that Johan has not yet returned. He is still there, or he is still there. Sorry. And been means that they have returned. Which is the difference between simple past and present perfect? Because both worked in past. The difference between simple past and present perfect, is that simple past, we talk about action that finished in a definite time. As example, 1 year ago or 2 years ago or maybe a month ago, we can know exactly when it happened. While when we use present perfect, we know that the action happened on the past, but is still there. The action continue maybe, and we don't know exactly when it happened. Over here also, we use present perfect to describe recent actions. In simple past, we can find the word for to talk about the action that already finished, while present perfect we use for and also since to talk about the period of time but the action didn't finish, right? So till here it's a presentation. Sorry, this one it's not part of our topic. It's a presentation about present perfect and also the simple past. Also, I have over here another document about present perfect that it's here. And it says that the present perfect obviously is not easy because we need to use past participle of our verbs, but we need to exactly know how does it work. The situation 1 means that present perfect is used to talk about an event that began in the past, but it continues up to the present moment. I have been here since 7 a.m. The word since plus the date and for, it can express a period of time, and that means that the action didn't finish. Also, to talk about an action that is not complete. That means that I have spoken to Liz many times this week. That means that maybe you will continue listening Liz, right? And also to talk about an action that we know that happened in the past, but we don't have a specific time to know when it happened. They have moved into a new house, a new apartment. I have seen that movie 10 times. We know that both actions happened in the past, but we don't have exactly the time when it happened, right? And also to talk about an action that happened in the past, but it continues repeating nowadays, right? So we need to make the difference between present perfect and simple past. And we know that the simple past, we know exactly the time of an action, and the present perfect doesn't mention the time of the actions. As we said, we know that happened in the past, but we don't know exactly when. We can know the period of time that it lasts, but know exactly when it begins. Over here in simple past, we can have some expression as last month, yesterday, but in present perfect, we note that happened in the past, but we don't know exactly when does the action happen, right? Remember that we need to use the auxiliary have or has according to your subject and then the past participle form of the verbs. Over here we have the examples of past participle of irregular verbs, but also we know that the past participle of regular verbs are easy because we need just to add et. We have over here some examples about present perfect tense, okay? In part of questions, as we said, we have the have or has auxiliary, subject, and then the past participle of the verbs. And if you need to have more information, if you don't want to do yes no questions as we have here, we can use the WH word before the auxiliary. Okay? And in the case of negative, we need just to use the word not after have or has and just the past participle of the verbs, right? So in class, we are going to work on that. We are going to solve some pages. We are going to do some exercises and we are going to practice about it. I hope that this one can help you. I also will attach some videos that will help you to understand better the difference between them, and also we are going to have some practice online to know about it. So, see you soon. Goodbye.